How's it going, YouTube? In today's episode of Darius Garage, I'm going to be showing you how to swap in sport seats to your car that came with comfort seats. And in particular, if you run into the issue where your car didn't have the electronic lumbar and your sport seats now do. If that interests you, stay tuned. So this first modification with the F31 Touring, I already had planned pretty much the day I bought it. The seats were pretty terrible. These came up for sale at a local pick and pull yard, and I snagged them as soon as I heard about them. We start this process off by removing the T50 screws that hold these seats in place. There are 4 of them. To access the front 2 screws, the seat must be moved all the way backward, and for the rear 2, all the way forward. Now would also be a great time to disconnect your negative terminal of your battery. With that removed, we can unplug the seat harness and unscrew the seat belt from the seat. This is also a T50. Then, with the steering wheel tilted out of the way, we can pull the seat out of the car, being super careful not to scratch any trim with those seat rails. Next, some cleanup was in order. A quick vacuum and a wipe down has the interior feeling fresher and more pleasant to work on. And now it's the same for the other seat. So pulling out the seats is relatively easy. All you got is these 4 screws. 1, 2, 3, and 4. They go all around over here, just like any BMW. And then you have to undo this wiring harness, which sits in this connector here. And you also need to undo this screw here. These are all T50. This one's captured in the seat belt itself, so you don't need to worry about that. Once you pull it out, just clean this up. And before you install it, you need to retrofit the cable. There's one power in each seat on the F30 that you need to retrofit, and it goes at the very end here. At least in my case. See, I took this plug out of the car that these seats came out of, just so I could compare and see what's going on. Left and right is not the same. You have a different pin out, more cables actually on the passenger side than the driver's side. So the only difference on each one is that at the very end there is an additional red power cable, which goes in the very last pin there. And all you're going to do is take this out of the harness that you cut off, if you got that at the pick and pull yard, and you're just going to retrofit it in your existing harness. And you're going to power it off of an existing power source. So probably one of the thicker wires that is actually power, not a ground like the brown one here. And you're going to be good to go. Done this a few times on E90s. The pinout is a little bit different, but similar thing. You can check out my short that I have posted a little while ago. We pulled the cable out of the donor harness off camera and unfortunately damaged the locking pin in the process. To prevent this damaged cable from pushing out of the plug and not connecting properly, my dad glues the cable into the plug with super glue. Then he strips the power cable that we'll be piggybacking off of. He exposes about 1 centimeter of copper wire. Off camera, he cut our new wire down to size and exposed the end of it. My dad's now wrapping the end of the new wire around the exposed thick power wire. He beautifully solders the wire in place for a permanent solution. Then he covers up the exposed wire with electrical tape to prevent it from shorting on something else. And now we can put the yellow cover back on. Once you've successfully retrofitted the cable, all you do is swap out this memory control computer. It's located underneath the seat, and this will basically be accountable for remembering the seat positions, the mirror positions, all that stuff, and as well as heating functions for your seat as well. If you don't change this out, at least it was like this for my X5, it will never remember the seat memory position properly. It'll always just remember the old car, it will never write a new one. And then your heated seats functions might be a little bit different than you initially had it. So make sure you swap this out just so that it's as seamless as possible. What you just saw there was the module for the driver's seat. We also had to swap out the passenger seat module, which works very similar to the driver's seat. It clips into a mount, and there are 3 connections on this module. The driver's seat has many more. Slightly different bodies, as you can see. This is probably because my car is a pre-LCI car, and the donor car that these seats came out of was a 2017 or 2018, making it an LCI model. And now it's copy-paste for the wiring on the driver's side. This time, the wire was not damaged upon removal, so no gluing of wires was required. Same concept, expose main power wire a little, push in new wire into its proper pin, wrap new wire around power wire, solder, cover with tape, and reinstall the cover. Before we could install my new driver's seat, we needed to replace the seat bracket, as it was damaged from an accident. Luckily, the brackets are the same between the old and new seats, so I just transferred this bracket over. The seatbelt tensioner was also blown from this accident, so once again I had to transfer over from one seat to the other. If memory serves me correctly, the seatbelt tensioner plugs into the main yellow harness on the seat side. It's the white section that you can see in this shot. You'll need to unclip this connector from the seat, just as I have in this shot, if you want to remove the seatbelt tensioner from the seat for replacement purposes. With the seat fully assembled, with good rails and a good seatbelt tensioner, we can put it in the car and plug in the seat. But before you get too far with screwing things down, don't forget to test if all the functions work properly. So now that it's done, you can see that everything is working good. I also noticed that the seat backs of the new seats were missing the net. So we transferred these over from the old seats to the new ones. And now it's the same for the other seat. With everything working perfectly, I bolt the seat back down, starting with the 2 front screws and then the seatbelt bolt, as it was convenient at that moment. Don't forget its little cover. And now, with the seat pushed forward, we can put the back 2 screws in. And look at that, looks so good. But of course, it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. We had a bit of an issue when we first fired up the car. The car threw a seatbelt and airbag warning, and that's because there were some codes stored on the computer, which we had to remove. I grabbed the shop scan tool and checked the codes, which were not present, so I erased them and all the errors went away. Unfortunately, they haven't come back since. If you found this tutorial in any way useful, please consider leaving a thumbs up or subscribing to the channel for more F31 content, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.